Hello, everyone. Greetings. This is Interstellar Radio. Today's date is March 30th, 2019. Saturday night, we have Gina on the line. Hello, greetings.
Greetings.
How's it going over there?
Well, it's going really well. A lot of information's been coming through, and I'd love to share it with you tonight.
Please. Yeah, please do. Please, wherever you like to begin.
Well, I definitely want to begin by first reminding everyone that when you and I are in this conversation tonight, this is a channeling that is occurring. Although we are having communication and talking to each other, channeling is part of what we do together during this session. So sometimes my information maybe sound scattered or abrupt. So just understand that's how the messages are coming through. So there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. All right, yeah, so you want to talk about a ship that you were for healing? You want to talk about?
Yeah, so I definitely want to talk about that because for some reason they want me to bring this up because I know it's not just happening to me. This is happening through many different people. So from my experience, and I can only speak from my experience, that is very clear to me, following a major surgery where I did expire on the operating table back in 2016 briefly. I was brought back to life, obviously very, very quickly. It was a very short period of time, they say, but I do know what happened the moment my eyes were opened in the recovery room. I became very bright, and there was a lot of light around me. So I knew something had happened, but I didn't know exactly what it was. I was in very, very good spirit. I was not feeling any pain at that time. I'm not talking about the fact that I had some pain meds, but I was just really feeling very, very happy and warm in my heart. So wasn't sure what had occurred at that point, but I knew it was something good. Shortly after returning home from that surgery, I went into meditation because I really was feeling that there was something going on that I just couldn't get my finger on. So I just allowed the messages to come through. As I practiced meditation prior to this event that occurred in the hospital, this time it was very different. And when I go into meditation, I just leave myself open to receive. I do not have an agenda. This one particular time, like I said, shortly after returning home from this major surgery, Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah, somebody's here.
Thank you. Okay. So,
Jeez.
Whoa. Hang on.
All right, that's all right. What you gotta do.
We just have to relax. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's
this
okay.
is what happened. So, it's not a bad energy. Just understand that is not a bad energy.
Yeah.
What I did experience was, I will first describe it in a way the best I can, but it might be very difficult, so please bear with me. I was brought through a portal, but I don't recall that whole entire process. It was more like an opening of a door, and I was somewhere else. So I went into, I was brought into this area, and then I was brought up and up. I felt myself going up, and then almost like an elevator, but not really. When I arrived and the doors opened, it was a very beautiful place, but it was a ship.
Mm-hmm.
It was not nature. I was not in nature. And it was very sealed, shut. There was no, and there was a lot of blue crystals, like royal blue crystals.
Mm-hmm.
And these royal blue crystals were on these pods, like these. There were pods that were around the walls of this ship, and I did see they were bringing me into the pod. They were getting ready to put me into a pod. It was like a clear, smoky. It was hard to see what was going on in the pod, but it was clear. But once the pod sealed, within there was more of a smoke screen type of image, so you couldn't really see what was going on in the other pods. But I do recall seeing a man, a human in a pod next to me was a man. He was about my age, roughly, give or take, dark hair. He was sleeping in the pod, and I thought, okay, well, there's another human here, so okay, I'm not alone. And I was when the pod closed, I just felt the love of the beings that were surrounding me.
Yeah.
At that time, because then there was one standing by where my feet would be, towards that direction.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit taller, and this being had a royal blue crystal within the third eye section of the forehead, and everything was just a really vibrant blue. It was just so beautiful, and I didn't have pain. I just knew that what they were doing was to help me. And then I woke up. So I woke up, and I just really felt sad because I missed them.
Of course.
I really didn't like that feeling at all. I felt very, very sad that they were, but I know that they don't leave you, but in this dimension, they're, okay, I was there, I was with them. Okay, so after I was just kind of feeling sad because they were no longer with me, I thanked them, and I tried to go back into meditation, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I think they were just cutting me off and wanted me to rest.
Yeah.
Is what I gather.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shortly after that, it was required that I had. I'm going to skip ahead because I tell you, I've been through a lot physically since 2016, and I know it's part of the transition, the upgrades, the changes, the shifts, and the DNA activation. I understand. But from the outside, it looks very traumatic. I was involved in an automobile accident, as you all know. This is something we talked about from last year, and it was a very traumatic experience for me, which required me to have an MRI. And I told you this before, that when reading the report of the MRI, in the report it was written that there was a metallic artifact found in my neck. So I went back to the surgeon that, the surgery I had in 2016, because I wanted to find out why would there be metallic anywhere near my neck? Was he working near this area? And nothing was used metallic in my surgery at all. There would be no reason. And in fact, I had an ultrasound after the surgery, and nothing even showed up at that point either. So I don't know where this metallic artifact came from. Nobody knows, except I feel that it was part of the healing that happened when I was brought onto the ship.
Yeah.
I think that it's very possible it was put there, although you and I both know that they track bloodlines.
Yeah. Well,
so
they
I've
track
been monitoring.
everything. Yeah, they track everything. Well, it feels like that. That sounds strange. What I'm getting is to help make sure that you follow your path. It's to help you with your path, but also to keep you aligned with your path too. I know it sounds strange, but
I
So,
understand.
you know what I mean? Like with energies, it help you connect to certain energies. Like with your healing work, you know, is help you connect to their vibration.
Hmm.
That has a lot to do with it too. So, I
Great,
mean, what I connect to is,
great.
I mean, everyone has a different. I mean, this world is like a big deal to other civilizations, or all civilizations, because it's so disconnected from everybody.
Hmm.
And so it's like a laboratory that
Correct.
we don't understand, but they have a better understanding of it.
Hmm.
So what you're here to do is transmute energy from them to others, and they'll actually was kind of tapping into them. Like they'll
Hmm.
be back with you soon.
Yeah,
Like through
yeah, I
dream.
love it. It's just fantastic. Well, they are with me. Thank you for that. Absolutely. Thank you for
Yeah.
validating that, because I don't think it's more of a tracking device, even though we are monitored and
Yeah.
followed and tracked. But
It's
this
part of it.
metallic thing is exactly what you said. I
Yeah.
feel that because a lot of things have really been upgraded. So I feel very drawn. A lot of people that do come to see me, most of them have very serious injuries, very serious illness that they have suffered from, or something that's really not what you would normally come to see a body worker for.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but they just keep showing up, and
Interesting.
so it's very, very interesting. And so a lot of folks and so when I'm in a room doing my work, just to validate what you said, they are present with me. This I know. This is what I feel. I see the blue crystals. I feel the beings working their energy through me. It's not coming from me, just through me, to help the client facilitate their own healing. I'm just there as a conduit, if you will, for that process.
Yes, definitely. Well, and you said these are Palladians, you believe, or
So I don't really know, because I I don't really know. Arcturian, possibly more of an Arcturian feeling,
mm-hmm.
because of the third eye that I there was a blue crystal where the third eye would go. And that was really one of the leaders that had it. Not everybody had it on the ship. Just the leader that was standing at my feet, or maybe my guide, or maybe I don't know. So they say the one that was assigned to me that is there. So that was the one that was there with the crystal blue in the third eye position.
well, they I also feel like the tall whites. I don't know if you're ever connected to them very
Oh
often.
yes, I do.
Yeah,
Yes, I do.
I feel tall white energies. I feel Arcturian also. So it was a little bit of everybody's there. It was Palladian,
Because
tall
it was
whites. Yeah.
right. I don't feel like I feel that it was a healing center. Not that it's called a healing center, but
Yeah.
it was just a place to bring healing, and just outside of our atmosphere. It's
Yeah.
not very far from us here, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm traveling light years away. Nothing like that at all. This is literally in our atmosphere. And it is here. It is working with the people of Earth. People are connecting with that a lot. They don't really know it. A lot of that healing, you hear of miraculous healings that are happening. People don't have explanation. They just don't have memory of that event in their wakened state. Now, I'm sure you've heard people who go through, what is that, hypnotism,
Yes.
and they do past
Mm-hmm.
life
Mm-hmm.
regressions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, that's where you start to hear these experiences. For me, I'm just so humbled by the fact that I have that memory very clear. I'm sure there's more to the story that I don't have the memory of, but that stood out. And the man that man that was next to me with the dark hair getting healing, also the human. I've always wondered about that, actually. I always wondered why was I able to see that? Maybe I wasn't supposed to. But
the man in the other healing pod, is that what it was? Or?
Yes. He was in the healing pod.
Yeah, well, first off, they're saying, when you heard that the phone breaking, that was them connecting, with them. The phone was kind of getting static.
I know. I get very emotional about it. Funny. I do. But, I do.
Well, they showed on the healing pod or healing ship, there's actually several people there. I mean, if you can imagine, like a whole ship filled with people, just just from daily life. So that's a big deal.
Exactly. The only one I saw was the one next to me. I know there were because they were lined up. The walls, the perimeter. That's the word I was looking for. The perimeter of this space, but it was so vastly large, undescribably large, that although it was so beyond what I was able to see in that brief moment. Now they come down here. So they're telling me they come down through lightning.
Well, okay, portal energy, is that lightning like or something like that?
I'm sure a lot of you have heard those stories where people who are taking pictures of lightning strikes have captured ships traveling through them.
Yeah.
And I've known that through those reports. I've never seen one with my own eyes.
Yeah, I never.
But I know that I have had many close calls with lightning, or I thought were close calls with lightning. There had been many of those experiences in my life, or I was interpreting it as a lightning.
No, I think it was lightning. It just attracted to you for connection reasons. Yeah, so it's justified. It really it makes sense.
People who know me know that when there's lightning, they don't stand around me. I don't understand what it is I'm doing, but I'll tell you, I will tell a story about the lightning that is actually goes along with or would make sense now that I told you the story of the healing pod and the blue. I was probably about 20 years ago. I was not. I had not had my awakening at that point. Okay, I knew things were happening. I was tapping into energies. I was doing tarot, a lot of tarot at the time, a lot of readings. Definitely, that was what I was doing a lot of during my 30s. Basically, I was limiting myself to those things, pretty much. Well, so I had an awareness of certain things. So here I am walking in a parking lot. It's not raining. There's a lot of people around. There's no lightning, no thunder, no clouds, no rain. But out of nowhere, in the parking lot, as I'm walking, there is a lightning strike. In Florida, that is not uncommon.
Yeah.
Okay? That is very common. But what was strange about this particular lightning bolt, at first I thought, oh my God, I got hit, because I was numb but I didn't get hit. So the electrical current affected my nervous system because it made me feel numb and tingly. But then what happens next was incredibly strange. I actually became impaired in that my eyesight, I only saw blue. So imagine wearing sunglasses with blue lenses. And that is what I was seeing. And that sensation scared me, as you can imagine. I actually was in a store where there was a security officer, and I thought, well, maybe I should let him know just in case I die and nobody knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So he sat with me, actually, while I called for somebody to come get me because I was definitely frightened. But what had happened is I had seen blue, and that sensation of the blue lasted 2 hours.
Wow.
It took about 2 hours. My sensations came back. I was no longer numb. But what was happening is I had like electrical shock sensations for several days throughout my body.
Makes sense. Yeah. Jeez.
But I was not struck by lightning, and there was nothing.
It doesn't
nothing
matter.
On me.
Energy was there. Yeah, energy was there.
The energy was there. So it was like a big energy surge, I guess.
Yeah, because
how strange is that?
Yeah, because like the areas get lit up. You don't see it really, but that's what tracks the lightning too, I guess, from what I'm feeling. It tracks it to hit. So some people might feel a magnetic pulse or something like that.
Well, I do for sure.
Wow.
I know when a tornado is nearby, like I can feel that energy in my body.
There you go.
But and also the lightning.
It's definitely
That's just my connection.
Yeah, your elemental connections are tuned in.
Very heightened.
Yeah, because I feel like there's. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
It's very uncomfortable. It's not anything that I would wish for somebody to have, although it might sound pretty cool to be connected like that. It could be quite obviously frightening and very physically uncomfortable.
Well, that's what a lot of this stuff, when you're opening up to spiritual development, it's not the cakewalk people might think, because it's not. You're connected, either empath connecting to other people's energies, and you can't cut that connection off, or whatever it might be. But more of that's going to become common. It's going to get larger and larger. We're just in the early stages of it. More people are going to allow it to happen when they incarnate. So what is the other message I just was getting, actually, was about the, thank you, reminding me of the massive DNA activation that we're undergoing at this time. Oh,
so
cool.
you just triggered that response from them by saying that it's going to be happening more. So people that are going to start experiencing supernatural sensations in the masses now. DNA activation. Yeah, because I'm in Orlando. I did a channeling at theme parks, and I got like vague messages, but it was similar to what you just said. It's like something we're working on some, but we're not really going into details of it. They totally just said it to me. We're working on something. Something's coming forward. And they did tell me this, and also what they were saying is they're kind of laying low. Because they're laying low now in preparation for something. Something's on its way. Because that's right. It's really on its way. So it's great that you and I both had similar messages, so we are on the right path. People are very curious of timing. They want to know, and I can understand that because I would like to know too, but unfortunately, that is actually not how it works, because our timelines are not really existent in other dimensions. So it's really not about time to say to somebody, oh, by this day or this year, we're going to have these experiences. I feel that they want me to understand the best way for me to explain that, and you and I talked about this before. Each individual will be experiencing 4, 5, and 6 dimensional consciousness at different times, timelines. So it's really not about the masses experiencing something like this and going, oh my God, it's happening now. No, it's happening within our own individual DNA But what's happening on the masses is more people are becoming activated now than more than ever before. So each time we have an Earth cycle, we're seeing that number getting larger.
Yeah, it's a transition year. And like that dream, or I would call it a dream, when you're on the ship, obviously they keep those kind of minimal for memory. Because, if you remembered that all the time, you'll go crazy. It's like...
Well, also I would want it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. You want to be able to function here.
I would want to be like living there all the time.
Exactly.
Pain-free and healthy. And
yeah.
But that's not what this is about.
Exactly.
So to make sure that the message is clear, they want me to make sure that there is no fear of these things. Don't fear it.
Yep.
You're going to be hearing. You're going to be hearing from outside sources, outside of. They're showing me like television, the TV, the news reports. People are going to be falsifying information where they're generating fear about it.
Mm-hmm.
So when the time comes, they're going to be doing more and more preparations and helping to prepare people for these types of visits. Because I believe it is going to be happening in our lifetime. This
that'll be good.
In the next few. You know what I mean? I just feel like this is going to be happening. That's right. But the one thing that they're saying, don't have the fear, because they're going to want you to have fear. So they did that back in the when Werner von Braun was creating the missile, the ship, zero gravity, right? To send us to the moon. That time frame, see, they just showed me that. So this is, I apologize. That is the picture I was given. At that time, in history for humans, there was a lot of fear generation being done. So so the people were thought they were losing their minds. A lot of people were being killed. A lot of, it was just a very difficult time for humans to have that understanding of visits that they were witnessing and experiencing back at that time, because there was a lot of cover-up, and then there was a lot of negativity attached to that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So they want me to say to you, as you know this, but for those that are listening, they want you to understand that they're going to try to do that again.
Oh, for the government to do fear-mongering, basically, or attacks or whatever it might be. Well, that's funny. I kind of had like a suppression of today throughout the day. Like, beings didn't want me to do anything today. I got like an energy attack, you can say. I finally cleared it out.
I think they wanted you to remain open.
Yeah.
And I think they wanted you to just be, to be, because sometimes we have to tune in like a radio, right? We have to tune it up, tune into different channels. That's why it's called channeling.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to. So I think that what they wanted you to do today is to
connect,
reboot, recharge, connect.
Well, and connect to specific information, it seemed, too. Something like that.
Yes.
Well, there is another force that doesn't want information out at all.
Yes.
That's what.
And it's not alien.
Yeah, well, some of it is. I think some of it is. But yeah, that's the other. Yeah, there's other stuff that isn't. Yeah, because I think it was an alien group that was.
The fear is created by the those influenced by the darkness. Because where there's light, there's dark. We know that. That's the way the universe works. Yin yang. We all know that. However, what the message is really wanting you to know is not to have that fear.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because this stuff's very strange, and nobody knows what to believe in, and it's all just it's entertaining, it's exciting, but it's also you don't always know what to think, and fear is an easy place to go to.
But thinking is not what we need to be doing, right?
Yeah, feeling. Yeah.
We need to feel. We need to clear our mind.
Yeah.
Do as the Buddha do as the Buddha does. We need. So I go back to the dumping of oneself, removing of ego, removing of human identity to become one in touch with the deeper self, where we could get more information without limitation, without blocks. Because if we allow our self-image and ego to get in the way, then we are not seeing the full picture. We're seeing a picture that we manifest. How am I supposed to say this? So it's not coming from higher self.
Well, I mean, a lot of times, most of the time, fear is created, you know, and it's a lesson, it has lessons involved with it. Once you clear the fear, well, it also means you want information too, but part of you is scared of it to a degree, depending on how you look at it. So
that's actually very accurate, and a lot of people who come to me saying, listen, I really want to connect. I said, well, what is it? Explain to me what you're doing. We go through, some of the ways in which I can help guide them. But I also already am picking up the fact that they are fearing what they're going to see. Well, so exactly what you said.
Yeah, like the elemental energies. I've been connecting more with wizards, and I've been opening up more dream-wise because of it. But some people, at least I got messages, are a little bit skeptical of elementals like wizards, and which is it makes sense. You're going to be skeptical of anything, but but what if they have a lot of information that can help you grow? And just a learning experience, and it is I believe that is true. It's just it's learning,
right?
So.
And that's okay. It's part of also the awakening process. As the awakening happens, the DNA activation is happening, upgrades are happening. Then you'll see more people being able to connect and dropping all fear, because fear is, as you said, created by the person.
Yeah.
Which they have identified with them. So it's hard for people to understand what I mean here, and I apologize once again. Just to simplify and to reiterate, we are more than just form. And when we remove ourselves, when we are able to step away from form, and how do we step away from form is by removing ourselves from ego and identity with the form, and that is not an easy thing to do. And I can't explain it. You will soon be doing that on your own, and that comes with the awakening process, and also upgrades. When you have an upgrade, then you'll start to break free from the ego and identity, because we need that to function in 3D. So it's very important to have the ego. But like I said, they keep saying, do as the Buddha does. Do as the Buddha does. Anybody interested in that, read up about what makes a Buddha, what do they do, what do they endure, because it's a real great lesson in this poor demonstration of what I'm trying.
That's okay.
I'm trying to say.
Well, I tell you, I felt a clearing after that whole, the whole Russia situation with the government, the investigation. I felt,
of course, because it's all false.
Yeah, just a dark cloud of nothing, basically. But still, it did still cause a lot of anger. It caused a lot of manipulation, basically, which it did exactly what it was intended to do. So,
but you know what? Unfortunately for them, it didn't cause enough confusion for the masses.
Yeah, that's good.
So the numbers were much lower, and I feel that what the energy I'm getting from that is that they're going down real soon.
That's
I'm
good.
telling you,
that's good.
This is just part of it. Break down, and the masses just aren't buying it.
I mean, in that situation, you never know. You know how any scandal is. They can create something. And luckily that didn't happen. The false stuff happens all the time. Luckily it didn't happen.
It wasn't going to happen. It was just,
again,
fear-mongering. Is that what they use, the word to describe it? But, this is nothing new. I think we're getting sick and tired of it as human beings.
That's good.
We're just tired of it, and I think that we have evolved beyond it.
Yeah, the mainstream media it's a big part of the matrix because it runs a good part of it, the mind. It runs people's minds. And
but
so
there's glitches. Okay, so they just said, I'm so sorry. They just said, but there's glitches. There's glitches in the matrix. You said this is a matrix. So they just added to me, there's glitches in the matrix.
Good. Bring it on. More glitches we need. It's good. Because, that whole thing, the Russia thing, it was a little bit, I didn't think they would find anything, but you never know. There might be dirty stuff happening that they'll manufacture a problem, but luckily that didn't happen. So it feels like
it's not at that level. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not
that's good. They
level.
weren't allowed to do that. They wanted to, like framing and stuff like that. That's what they wanted to do. They didn't get away with it though. Luckily. Jeez. So much corruption. It shows corruption. The deep state, has holes in it. Hollywood. Basically, it feels like the government does run Hollywood, which is the CIA.
Well, they most certainly do.
Yeah.
The CIA.
Part of it, yeah. Obviously, the shadow version of it. Just to run people's minds. But yeah, the Great Awakening will be. It's going to be slow. It has to be, but there will be a sign that we're turning into a new direction. We come out of that situation, the Russiagate thing. So
but that was a sign.
I agree. I agree, yeah. Well, I think there must be another sign on the way then.
Yes, there is. It's all coming.
Yeah, I agree with it. Yeah. That's
like the peeling back of the onion, right? So that's a term that is used to one layer at a time, baby, one layer at a time. They just want us to be patient, trust the process, because we are going in the right direction. And the reason why these lies that whatever they're doing is just a waste of their time because nobody is really paying attention anymore. There is a few, but those few are very far and few between. The masses not interested.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you feel this also with the entertainment business, that people are no longer starstruck. They're really understanding that they're not identifying themselves with celebrities like they used to, right?
Yeah,
it's just not that attachment.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's going to YouTubers. It's getting more to your everyday man or woman. It's people are exploring themselves in a different way.
And where's the attacks happening now?
Yeah,
where there's the major threat, where all the information is. Where is it? Right there on the internet. So where the censorship and whatever. But listen, you can't because we're going to find ways to keep the messages going one way or the other.
Yeah, and
you know.
if you're in the right, I mean, obviously nothing's perfect, but you're coming from your heart. Just keep coming from your heart, not worry about
That's right.
oppression or
What does
numbers.
it mean to come from the heart? Let's explain that to people, because this is major. This is a major tool that we all have, and we
Mm-hmm.
all have that power.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from the heart means being your authentic self,
Yeah.
being true, knowing that regardless of what society thinks or other people think, you are really going to continue to be on this path of enlightenment, that we can't tell people how to behave or what to think, but just by being you, being authentic and true to yourself and your beliefs, will influence people from the heart space.
Mm-hmm.
Heart chakra is a very powerful, it is our connection to our higher self, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to each other. We are all connected from the heart space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And it can be misguided.
Well, so long as you stay, it can't be infiltrated.
Yeah.
It cannot. The heart chakra cannot,
Mm-hmm.
unless you block, if it's blocked,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to keep it open.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we do that?
Yeah, it's like your needs for others, or your heart is out for others and yourself. I guess when you become more selfish, I mean, everyone's gonna be, but selfish in a way where agendas are more about for you than others. That's where things start to get weird. You can
Right.
say, like with the news media, take down Trump and stuff like that. That's
Yeah, this stuff is going. It's just not even. It's so irrelevant.
It's like
It's so
darkness.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
But they're just making fools of themselves, and it eventually will just fizz out, just like everything else that doesn't. That is all coming from negative. Those negative.
Yeah.
Think back into history.
Mm-hmm.
Think back about those things.
Mm-hmm.
Those negative things. I don't want to attach to it, so I'm going to just call them things. Those negative influences that used to be around back in history.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see them around anymore because they die. They can't.
Yeah.
They cannot survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't know. Change. What do you feel like? I don't know. Yeah, like 6 months, maybe sooner than that.
So timing is very difficult to establish. But when I'm talking about the DNA activation, I feel that this is the Earth cycle is now.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're in that cycle where DNA activation is in full force, and 2020 is going to be really very interesting.
Yeah.
I know we just began 2019, but please understand, timing is really not. I'm just using these as ways to explain it, but this is we are now currently experiencing. It is happening right now. The DNA activation. Your neighbors, your friends, your mother, your father, your cousins, your best friend, your enemy. They're all starting to have these shifts within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how it happens.
Yeah, see some of this stuff. It'll go into, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like it will go into entertainment, because that's where people, the masses, that's where they get their information from, movies or,
But it's distorted there.
That's true, but it's got to go somewhere. Not always.
Distorted. So that,
not all the time.
It depends. You're right, not always, because nothing is 100% right.
At least you're getting something. Yeah, at least you're getting some kind of... Yeah.
They're stopping me. They're stopping me right now. They're telling me that to stay away from that.
That's strange. Because that isn't... All right. because that area is going to be healed over time. Doesn't make any sense.
But right now, stay away from it.
Yeah. Well.
I'm sorry. That just is a message that I'm getting. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Well, yeah, right now, yeah, but I'm talking about future.
So the airwaves are going to be very minimal because we'll be connecting telekinetically. Telekinetic. So we will be able to connect in a different way. And some of us are already doing that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know why they would do that. Why they would, because, the masses have, not to say they're going to wake up very quickly, but, I feel some of this stuff's going to go into entertainment somehow for them to at least, download it. Because usually, it's going to be a small percent of people that are going to be shifting. Everyone else is still going to be in the same way they were before.
The best thing to do while you are in your awakening process and starting to make some connections is to stay close to the people that you trust with your information, and avoid celebrity influence during that shift. Eventually, when it all clears, they're saying yes to you.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be how we're going to all be communicating. We're going to communicate very differently. So let's think about that. So they want to talk about how our communication has changed over the years. So people, if you know the telephone, right? Back in the first time that, so they're showing me the timeline of the telephone communication to our current state of where we are today. And that is not a very long time ago.
No.
So imagine that. The way that we're going to be communicating is going to just be... They would have never, back when the telephone first came out, and they were picking up a phone, and the first thing you did was get an operator who you would tell the operator what you wanted, and then they would put it in a plug in there. You would never be able to call somebody's house directly.
Yeah.
So back at that time, there is no way that they would be able to understand how we communicate today.
Yeah.
Now, nor can we understand how we're going to communicate in the future. But I will tell you, it's already happening faster than you can imagine because we are already doing it. So it's happening.
Yeah, it feels like, 2020, things will start to, I don't know, I guess we'll find out.
Well, 2020 is going to be a very, very good growth year.
The blockages will be clearing,
Like leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Like really leaps and bounds. Very different. I mean, think about 2 years ago compared to today. Look at how fast it's moving. So when we're trying to do a comparison and to give answers of a timeline, the only way to do that is to compare where we were 2 years ago, 3 years ago to where we are today. As a human species, we have evolved spiritually exponential.
Well, it feels like, next year is going to be clearing blockages, even this year. But if you look at their duration of the phone, it'd be like, 100 years? We would have a major transition between now and,
Well, I think it's going to be less than 100 years.
Well, I don't know about... but the majority of the population isn't really known for change. I guess we'll find out. But... They're not known for it.
Tempering. So, with just little baby steps,
Yeah.
So, we're already on that path. It's already happening.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not feeling any major disruption in a negative way. at all. I think we're in a really great, energy-wise, right at this moment, in a very good place.
Yeah.
We're in the upswing, if you will.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just that with this type of stuff going into the mainstream population, it's bumpy, to say the least. That's why I can see like if you look at the derivation of phone, that makes sense. You know, 1800, something like that, 18, whatever it was. So yeah,
I don't know.
For the main, I mean, especially
but it wasn't long ago. It was reality.
Yeah, well, it depends on because the let's see, invention of phone.
So 100 years ago was 1919. So I mean, look at what has happened in that period of time as a human race is really not a long time at all.
Well, I mean, even spiritual.
We're moving much faster now. Okay, so the wheels are spinning a lot faster now.
Yeah, it was like 1876 is when I guess the phone was. So it even like the invention of the car too. That took a while to, Of course, that's all physical stuff. This is a spiritual stuff. This is a little bit different, but.
So physically speaking, when we're talking about a car, right, we absolutely have advances already existing, but they're just not made available to us.
Yeah.
So we operate like we were still in the Stone Age, if you will, compared to what is actually available to us. Right now, today, we're not given that, although there are people operating so there are people using those advanced technologies today.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I guess when you see mainstream religions talk about aliens, that's when you know the ball is starting to roll. For the mainstream.
Or commercials, right? When you have the commercials. Like, again, well, there's another one that I was like, because sometimes they show commercials when you're watching videos or stuff. And there's one where they have this cartoony, alien candy bar commercial.
That's funny.
I mean, they're just dribs and drabs, I think, This is how they desensitize the masses by introducing it in slow doses so that you're not as shocked. By the way, they don't look like that. But I know that they are still here. We know that we are still living amongst the aliens that are the human form. I want to ask you your opinion. So this is something that I just got a memory of something. This is not a channeling. I remember hearing a particular person who is in our field talking about the city of Paradise, California.
Oh yeah.
Where the fires were, and that there was an alien species living in Paradise, California.
Yeah, I heard that from David Wilcock. Yeah, I heard about that.
You did hear that? Okay, because I want to say that I'm still very curious about that, and I don't have any information. I was just wondering if you did.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really get a lot of vibe from that. I mean, it's curious, but I don't get. I mean, don't you think you would get a instant feeling from that? I'm not getting.
I'm really not getting much from that at all.
Yeah. So.
Now, are we blocked from it, or is it just another interpretation? I don't know, but I was just curious.
There's a possibility. I don't know. You know how a message like that is like. I guess I don't know. Messages like that. I mean, obviously, I have an open mind, But some things are like, gosh, I have to like see it to believe
I
it.
wasn't feeling like I was really getting. I wasn't connecting with it in any way, shape, or form. But that doesn't mean
it's not true.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
because
you're not getting it either.
well, it's not real. It's Alpha Centauri, is what he said. Alpha Centauri beings are there.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing got burned out. I don't know. Just when you think I hear a story like that, it's like, wow, that's really convenient. It's
right.
Like, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else going on other than that. I mean, how big can the community be? It's like.
Right. I don't know.
It's just.
But we do know that they do live amongst us.
Yeah, definitely.
Here. They are here.
Yeah. Military bases usually. I don't know.
Or in human form, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they live among us. But, to say a whole bunch of them live in paradise, who knows?
That was kind of, like, surprising to me. I didn't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be. I'm not getting a whole lot on it.
Colony. He was, like, talking about it being a colony.
I don't know. The source, I mean, the one that said that, it's like, he says a lot of things that I don't know. It's like, I mean, he's still talking about this whole mass arrest thing and back in 2009, and I don't see a mass arrest of the cabal. I mean, I feel a healing of it, but I just don't think we're going to just go. I mean, they run the big corporations, all that. They're going to let. I mean, who's going to? I mean, we're going to make peace with it. Basically, is what I see.
Again, it's all left up to interpretation.
Exactly.
So, his interpretation of arrest, the taking down, his interpretation is that, but your interpretation is the healing of it. Either way, it is the same as end result.
I mean, you see how Saudi Arabia is improving, female relations there. It's not perfect. It's got a long ways to go. I mean, female drivers is a big thing, but still is a lot. They can still do a lot more. But of course, Iran is pretty strict also. So I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of. I'd be curious to have more alien energies here. To like in the physical realm where people are. I mean, if there is going to be a panic, it can only last for so long. So. Who knows?
But that's why it's so important for the awakening process to be sped up, so that we are prepared for that, so that we don't have a repeat of the first go round that we've experienced.
Abductions
in our life, right? But I'm not a big, But see, if the abduction is a planting of fear. Because it's really not an abduction so much as in a negative sense. I don't want to get into that right now because everybody has their own experiences, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But it's not meant to be to create the negativity attached to it or the fear attached to it. I think that is the only message that I'm trying to get out about that.
Well, yeah, and I heard a radio show. I mentioned it somewhat yesterday about they're talking about Zetas, how they're more AI and they're not from another planet. I mean, I guess it's all an interpretation.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, they are not. We're okay. So. The universe is so vast, and this is a planet that is it doesn't inhibit just only human beings. So they're from everywhere. You and I are from everywhere.
Yep.
So to say that is not completely accurate.
Yeah, it's strange. This is a real popular program too, and it's only seeing it from one direction, but.
Right. I feel like that's very limiting, don't you?
Exactly. It turned me off. I was really surprised by that. It's like, wow.
I think that was really not maybe said the right way.
Yeah.
Yes, they're from here, and they're from
everywhere
the
else.
same places we are from.
Yep, everywhere. Yeah.
Past, present, future. So we're all connected. That's why this is happening. How are we going to evolve? How do we keep evolving? This is how.
Yeah, exactly. Open mind. Accept different interpretations. Not judge. Yeah. Follow your path. They feel is right for you. You know,
Right?
yeah.
And connect from the heart space, and you will be with the right people. Connect with people that are that you know that you are growing with, and sharing the information with your community. If you can do that where you live, or you have an opportunity to reach on a larger scale, then do it. But connect from heart space, not head space.
Oh yeah, I want to add more. When I was talking about this stuff going into fiction and all, I was talking about where I'm coming from, like the Rabbit. You know, I'm working on the Rabbit comic and stuff. It's like I do see that going into mainstream somewhere, somehow.
But that's where that's going to be, because it came from the right place.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where that information is going to be, but it's not ready now because it would be it's kind of not stable. That environment is not stable enough to support those
correct
new things. So
the ideas are like, people are really skeptical of where it's coming from.
But that's going to be very soon for you. 2020 is definitely going to be a time for that book.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's similar to Rick and Morty. You're aware of that, right? Rick and Morty.
Yes. It
has a lot of similarities to it. So.
Right. So you're going to be mainstream with that in 2020. Sorry, I just had to tell you that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's where I was coming from, and I have other stuff, even what you're connecting to. You know, just all this stuff can be entertainment. Obviously, there's more to it, but for the masses to understand where we're coming from.
I think that the word entertainment is the problem I have.
I agree.
I think that's going to be the word. It's going to be a different. To be called something different.
Yeah. I don't know what you would call it, but I understand. Yeah, I see where you're coming from, though.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Oh yeah, it's more like nonfiction. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Astral.
It's just about that word. About entertainment.
Yeah,
is cliche.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we're going to have a whole new way of addressing this global information network. GIN.
Yeah, it'll be, who knows?
Global Information Network.
Who knows? Yeah, I know. I see what you're getting at. I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
I don't know what it's going to be, but it just can't be attached to that word because it's now shifting.
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, like the scandals in Hollywood, people saw things coming, and then it happened, like the Weinstein thing. Not to say looking at it from that direct, but, we see the spiritual work, and we see that eventually going into the mainstream taken more seriously. Yeah.
Right, so now they're showing me the channelers are going to be just an everyday occurrence.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Like, you go get your hair done. Like, you go get your car wash. Like, you get, that's just going to be everybody is going to be connecting on that level that way.
Well,
everyone.
To give you a more, I had a dream. Now, it's connecting to elementals, wizards, and I haven't had a dream like this since. Yeah, but this is before that, before the webinar on Thursday. I was connecting to, I just felt a lot of elemental guides around me, but there's a YouTuber on, not to go into deep, but there's a YouTuber that talks about movies and all that. He was in my dream, and he's like a filmmaker, and he was telling me I'm going to California. He was telling me that in my dream.
Really?
I can send you a link. I can send you a link
Yeah,
of
I
that.
definitely want to see that. Yes,
I'll
please.
talk about it in my future video.
So tell
too.
me about that later. I want to get into that with you.
Okay.
I want to hear about that.
Yeah, just he was telling me
Um,
California, trying to figure out what the hell I was talking about. Because we talk about
could it be contact in the desert?
No, I don't think so. Oh no, that's not somebody that's connected to. It's somebody that's connected to like, I would say mainstream Hollywood. Not necessarily. It's like an independent filmmaker, not connected to any of this stuff at all. Just an outsider looking at this stuff. Being intrigued by it. No, not a contact. No, that's not anybody connected to any of that. No, I'll send it to you. You'll see what I'm talking about. So.
Awesome. I think that's great. I want to hear about that.
Yeah, I want to see California because that's where the entertainment is, but that's where you can get your message out too. So it's another way of doing it. So we'll see. Use cartoons or whatever to get people's attention. They call it entertainment. You call it something else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's a lot. It's as you know, it's a lot to take in. I mean, you grew up with it, or you experienced it.
It's part of your life. My norm.
Exactly.
But I have to understand that it's not the norm for other people.
No, it's not far from it.
Right. Well, I don't understand it, but it is what it is.
Oh yeah, that's your path, definitely.
For you and I to do this organically, somebody looking in could be like, "What the hell is going on here? I don't understand. I cannot comprehend." So sometimes, in these dimensions, so when we are operating on a different level of consciousness and we're connecting this way, you will find that people are not drawn to you or come around you or never heard of you because it's not something that's within their consciousness.
Exactly.
So it's non-existent.
Yep.
If any of that just made sense, I hope it did.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, definitely. It's when you look at it from an outsider's point of view, we're all just out of our minds. It's like, but when we look at it from our point of view, it all makes sense.
They're all out of their minds.
I know, it's the other way around.
We look at it a different way. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
it's okay.
This is all the wizards and the sorcery. This is all. It's just modernized, basically. They didn't talk about aliens, well, they probably did, but through the tales, they didn't talk about aliens. They did, but they interpreted it differently. Yeah, angels and etc. Yeah.
Well, the wizards, the leprechauns, the fairies, we're not limited to just angels and aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
Because just as we can see and form on this plane that we are not all the same, we're not. We come in all different sizes and shapes and experiences and energy. Well, so does other dimensional beings. So I know it's hard for people to understand that there are wizards and fairies and things of that nature, but I mean, they'll get there.
Yeah, as you're talking, I was feeling like, of course, there's always, I think everything exists, no matter, if you can think about it, it exists somewhere. So, like an astral, wherever it exists, even if you see these weird-looking alien beings, they're in astral somewhere, they're in the spirit world. They're just not created out of thin air, but...
astral projection.
Yeah.
So we're able, what we create in our mind is manifest, that is all real.
Yeah.
All of it.
And
it's real.
That was, at least what I'm getting is the fairies and wizard beings, that we are, our dimension is we are like a copy of them. We are similar to them, but we experimented.
We carry their footprints.
Yeah, exactly.
What I was told.
Yeah. But we have to experiment, and experiments go wrong.
They experiment through us, is what they're saying. They're experimenting through us.
Exactly. We're essential, but they're separate, but they are connected. I mean, they're
And some
connected to
people have
us.
more fairy influences than others.
Exactly.
So they're showing that that connection that runs through back and forth.
Mm-hmm. So the footprints or fingerprints, however you want to look at it, is everywhere. It's but everyone's different levels of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like.
So there's nothing to be afraid of. Actually, you should be excited and really encouraged that we are more than what meets the eye, and that there is the information is so vast that we are just not even touching the tip of the iceberg. But there's no way we have all of that infinite knowledge. We don't have it. But what we do have is the essence of it to share.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, we took knowledge of the fairies, the elemental world, and we took it and we experimented with it, and we took it to all different levels that they are assisting us with, but to disconnect from the high power that they're connected to, which is a huge risk. It's like, why would you want to do that? It's like, because you can. Someone else is going to do it, so we connect to the highest peak we can go, and then we go down.
But you know what? You're right. But they all work in. It's almost like secular. So we have right now we're experiencing the vibration of the fairies and the elemental beings. But then there are cycles where we'll cycle in with the angels will come in a little bit stronger. It all depends on where we are in our evolution and what we need to support this.
Yeah, because
right now I'm not connecting with the aliens as much as I have before, but I'm connecting a lot with more of angel beings right now.
No, that's good. Yeah, because it's always different. Yeah, because sometimes I connect with more of the elementals, sometimes more of the aliens. Yeah, you need the elemental energies, angel energies too. To know about it's all. You just have to go with the flow of it.
You can't connect to just. I mean,
everything.
Listen, I'm going to rephrase that. I'm going to rephrase that. It's best to be open to connect with
everything,
all beings, and allow and remove your limitations to allow it to come through, because you're going to receive what you need, and by blocking it, you're hindering your evolution and your growth of your spirituality. So allowing to remove expectations and limitations and allow it to come through is really critical in your growth.
Yeah, exactly. Like the elemental, the wizards, and I keep saying that because I say elementals, people, you talking about water? it's like I'm not talking about water. But the fairy world is like they got kind of, when humanity went down into the lower vibrations, you can say that the elemental world got kind of frustrated with humanity. It's like, why would you do that? So that we tested them. We tested everybody. So,
The fairy world is definitely connected to Earth, Mother Earth. Is all coming from Mother Earth. So to deny that would be detrimental to your growth, because that is part of Mother Earth. This is who where we get our grounding, a root. That's what they want you to understand, that they are of the earth. That's why you're calling them elementals, because we are the earth is an element. How many elements?
Yeah.
How many elements?
Yep.
Many elements.
Yep, definitely. All right. Okay. You wanted to Yeah, we can close this out. Any last messages before we end for tonight?
I think that we're good.
All right.
We're good. If
Yeah.
anybody has questions, they can call you, message you, and it'll be, we can go from there. But I feel very good that the information that I was to share tonight was given the platform to do so. So I thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Definitely. Imagine there are many out there that have similar experiences, especially with the healing ships.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, you can always go in different areas in the future. We'll see.
Well, we'll see what happens. But again, thank you again, right. Ivan, as always. I have much gratitude to you for having this platform made available for me to share and share with your audience. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on and sharing your point of view and energies and connections. Definitely helps. So, all right.
Many healings and blessings to all of you. Have a good night.
Yes. All right. Much love, everyone, and I'll catch you soon again. All right. Much love.